So the Capricorn moon coming up on July 3rd is at 10 degrees. And I see how that it sextiles Saturn. Well, it's 3 degrees off, but it's good enough. And it certainly is trining Jupiter, which is very good aspects to Jupiter and Saturn. Saturn and Jupiter are also sextile. So we have a lot of sextiles going on in the sky. Sextiles. Sextiles. These create a more like a faceted design as far as what we're looking at in the chart. It's a star, more faceted than just the Star of David with the trines, the sextiles. They get along. So it's easiness, we could point out some signs that are experiencing it, but really I want to look at, the meaning of the Capricorn moon. The Capricorn, it's on an angle, first of all. It's in the tropical charts. That is the major angles of the cardinals, and so, it's just, here it is summertime, and we're having a full moon opposite Cancer moon. It's a time of building. When I think of Cancer, I think of the builders, the ones that just keep constructing and building and constructing and building their shells or whatever it is we need. Capricorn rules that structure, the need of it. Capricorn rules like I see it as just within what astrology points at is the evolution of human consciousness. So for everybody, especially the Aries or Aries rising, but this is humanity, we're talking about the organism that's here. It says, I am all, and so on. This is what we got going on. The goal, it's goal-oriented, Capricorn is. And so to me, any endeavor requires a discipline to get to its goal. And that's what that Capricorn rules. This Capricorn moon is going to set off, it's going to make us think about our achievements in that way. And for most of us, especially me, I'm just talking to myself, hasn't really gotten anywhere with anything. And so, but this is just me talking. I mean, other people would say, no, you've done great or whatever. It's like, no, not according to me, okay? But we don't judge ourselves. See, that's the thing. Capricorn is that highly disciplinary judge, kind of like. It does rule all of those superficial courts of law anyway, and the grade, making the grade and getting savvy to what is needed to achieve those structures in our lives. Now it makes me think of the North Node for some reason. It's because it's the North. That's in the regular chart. Capricorn is the high noon. It's the northern. It's the goal. So it's hard to get that loftiness. If you know a Capricorn, they're strange, but they seem to have mastered this world, and it's like, if you look at what card Capricorn is in tarot, it's the devil. And that is the one that enslaves us to these ideals, materially, perhaps, or any kind of, maybe it's an illusion, but now we're talking about the ruler of the world, like Capricorn. Capricorn rules time, the material world, money. We've been dealing with it. See, Pluto went back into Capricorn, so it's kind of an elemental thing where we're having this, but it's not an exact aspect, so I won't say that it's anything intense except for the fact that the moon's nodes, see, the main thing this month is when the moon's nodes backs into, late degree Libra and Aries, which is going to square Pluto. I kind of mentioned it in one of my videos about the nodes. I mentioned Pluto, but I didn't, tip off that it's going to be squaring Pluto. It's happening now, but when it goes cha-ching on the 19th, I think it is, when the nodes um, shift. I have my ephemeris here that will tell me better, but I think we determined it's on the 19th. It's big for people. See, I have a 28 Mercury Libra, and it's causing an itchiness for me in my whole, I guess, my mind. I would like to have there be a purpose, for my life, and of course everybody's life. To really, is for me, is to stay open, to stay to stay clean, to be able to hear, to answer the call. God, what is it? We are on so many levels, paradigm shifts. Like where we are, where we would be. Do we even have enough life in us to make a difference to anything at all? And where do we make the difference to who? I think it's really important to give now I was going to say of your life, but what I mean is that if you're alive and you have something to share, which, talking to the living dead and maybe coming from like, don't, I don't want to die yet kind of a place. The tree, a freaking fruit tree, does not live for itself, right? The river doesn't drink its own self. They say that, but it's like, well, you could say, yeah, it does. It produces a fruit and it drops it down and it eats its own mulch. But how boring that is, life is full of different kinds of activities, actions, really, actions. Activities and actions are different, diametric opposites. But anyway, boy, I can't speak, not with Pluto squaring and then I'm gonna try and say something here. It's not all about speaking either, really. It's like, did I say enough? Most likely. Uh, anyway, that Capricorn moon for me, it's gonna be squaring my Mars. It's not easy. If you're a Libra, Aries, Cancer, and Capricorn, but really the Libra and the Aries is the one who experiences a lot of intensity when the planets are in Capricorn or Cancer. These two axes are tropics, are tropical uh, hemispheres. We have the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn, and I don't know. That's what the astrology that I do is Tropic Placidius. But anyway, I'm understanding the Vedic to be kind of hindsight, like it's it all could be used because it's pointing at the truth. And anyway, Capricorn, it's ruled by Saturn, which is very highly, you could say, restrictive. But what it really is it's, like I said, there's that discipline that is required in order to get to achieve the goal, which could be structuring, and it hits a point, right? And that's the goal. Not always has to do with everything. It's like, you're in the university or you're in the maze, the institution, you know, I was just thinking, well, the world and the way that it's structured might maybe, um, just a suggestion. To me, that's what I figured out about Saturn. It's a suggestion of rules um, that lawmakers would make or something, and you have to be careful of that, right? I mean, any kid would say, no, actually, I can cross that line and I won't die. and it's more expansive. We are less oppressed. And so, see, there's where Pluto comes in. Pluto going back into Capricorn. See, Pluto to me is different than, see, people dread Saturn and Pluto. Well, Saturn is Satan, Pluto is God. You know, Pluto you have to have a little bit more respect for because it's not really going to bend. Um, because the truth doesn't bend. Whether it's a solid truth or not doesn't matter. Truth is truth is truth. It's the same for everybody. I love saying that to the narcissists. And you don't create your own reality. Thank God. Kids are relieved about that. You know, this here, right here, you didn't create that impotent space. Oh, you want to talk about reality? What reality is? Well, I might open up a little bit of a mystical school about how simple that is, you know. But can you drop all of the nonsense that the mind holds on to that says, no, I'm more real? Can you? Can I just not stop this when we get to the best part? Because there's the question right there. You know, Capricorn apparently thinks that the world is all there is. And that's going to be that's kind of a question. You know, this is about your spirituality. How? Well, what's in question? What are we even building into manifest in order for people, you know, to walk in and out of and have an experience and say, what? Is it refreshing or did it drag you down? Did it just pacify your mind into thinking that your fantasy was more real, or did it give you more discipline to understand how to work the things that are more real that actually pay off better? And when we say payoff, what do we mean? I just thought of the children, but somebody else just thought of money, and then I don't know. I'm thinking of creativity, and then again, somebody's thinking about money. And I wake up thinking about well, right now we have the moon in Scorpio, which is a kind of it's a sextile. So we're enjoying these sextiles here, and the moon is trining Saturn. It hasn't been easy for me lately. I anyway, I don't want to get personal into my personal life because you know love isn't anybody's business but our own. Really, we have our own level and we have our own understandings. And you know, I was thinking about Facebook and how like okay, so I'm experiencing a kind of funky romance, you know, and I do have love in my life, but am I going to share it on Facebook or even here? Really? I mean, truthfully, no. Like if I find the one for me and I get married, most likely I'm fucking ditching Facebook. You're not there anymore for me is just to because I think people are there. But if I have somebody in my life, I'll be busy with them and not with Facebook, right? Yes, a lot of people have replaced human relationships with Facebook. Yeah. I was thinking about this morning how um, and how that dogs have become a big thing. Why? Well, you have the veterinarian service and somebody is playing a joke on us. I mean, we don't need dogs unless you have a farm. And then your dogs and your chickens and all these things are actually, you can find that they have a harmonious place to be in your home. But now it's just antisocials that have a little set of eyes that looks up at them unconditionally. You know, you can kick a dog around and the darn thing will still look at you like, are you going to give me some food? No, not really. You can't do that to any animal. They'll realize that you're abusing them. But my point is, God, my point is that, you know, that bubble that the antisocial are creating anyway, and then they get a dog. And so then you can see that bubble. It's just, they have, you know, in town, I live in a tourist town and it's big. It's big. Just, it's increased that now, well, you have to let the tourists will not eat it in the restaurant unless you let their dog in. And what I see is just, that's what happens when you get more and more antisocial. Dogs are a sign when people have dogs and they love them, but they can't love people. See, when I had a dog for 16 years, really beautiful dog. God sent me this dog, And she, of course, she's so loyal to me, and I'm loyal to her. But I noticed the society they just want a dog and they can't have a dog, and it's like, well, you got to have a bigger yard, yes, and a big yard is huge. But see, a lot of people I've known, a lot of people they'll get a dog and then they'll leave it. It's just starts barking because, well, they go out and party, and it's like, well, I gotta feed the dog, and then somebody else has you. See, there's a lot of dog services now. I'll walk your dog for you, or I'll sit your dog for you. Why? Because you don't have time for the fucking dog, and you don't have enough space. And now you gotta pay. You gotta pay for a babysitter, and what else? All of the veterinarian problems that arrive from people preying, industries, pet foods. Praying. This is a big time to fucking just stop, but it has just escalated because people are completely unconscious. The reason why I already made a video about this. The reason why we're doing a lot of things is isn't meaningful, doesn't have any connection, like, say, the reason why we did things before, like, say, the reason why we had plays. We would get up and do a play, the reason why we would have art, the reason why it functions is completely different nowadays. It's trash, and boy, if we were to say that about people, well, if we were to consider people being instruments, like instruments, possible tools that, say, God would use in order to make an art out of life, well, that's not happening at all. I'm experiencing something strange, and it's like, well, okay, fine. I'm not of this world. You don't belong to that world. You belong to the creation of creation, which it's hard to talk about it. It's like, okay, what did you just say? The creation of creation. What I mean is you belong to a blank space that is yours, and there's infinite possibility. Where is that place and where is that space? This moment now. Profound. Most people aren't alive unless, most people haven't found that life yet. They don't know that your breath is all you have, all you need to connect to it. It's amazing, and a lot of people don't know that they're not breathing right. They're breathing shallow anyway. This is to get in contact with the real life, life force energy, because Capricorn is hooked into the discipline that creates the structure of our lives. And that's what it's a big thing for me, but it's like, what, as an Aries, if you're an Aries, the way that it's working, babes, the way astrology is, what it's pointing at, this is the cardinal squares. Now see, Capricorn squares Aries. Why? It's a forward square. Capricorn has to wipe the mochils out of their eyes and say, what the hell is Aries doing over there? Well, we're being spontaneous. We are here already. We are here already. There isn't much of a goal but to celebrate. See, Capricorn forgets all of that, and they're like, and they get bound down to Saturn, and Mars says, no, the structure is here already. A is for atom. Now, dare. See, Aries is the one who just says, I am, and that's it. Why are you stopping me? When you stop the expression of the spontaneousness of life, which is your expression, like right away, get up, fix it. You don't let that shit fuck with you. That's what Aries is about. It just shakes it off and says, boom, remain buoyant. Your capacity to build anything is reliant on that capacity to stay open and, be the boss. Be the boss. See, the cardinal signs are bossy. Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn. What we mean is that they are the pushy ones. Aries is the one who pushes out of the womb, and their head. It's all about our heads, and kind of head buddy, and that's pushy. So is Cancer. Cancer says, bullshit about this. You're not feeling the details of which are very real, and that's what the lesson of. Let's see, that's the forward square to Aries, which is Cancer. Cancer says, we're building something now. We are going to build something based in our feelings, babes. What do we need? We've already figured out. We need safe shelter, land. which is the I am. See, this is just the human evolution, the evolution of human consciousness, really all of the universe expanding into more and more awareness, or contracting, really, because all of these symbols, signs, Aries, will point also at the unconsciousness too. They have a consciousness to them and their potential, and then they have their unconscious, which is their worst potential. And so that's what we take into consideration as astrologers, real life astrologers. And we're born that way. Babes like cooks. You know, you're born a good cook, or you're born a good musician, or you're going through the motions, and congratulations, but have respect for those who were actually born with Mercury conjunct Uranus trine Moon.